Today we'll start with the theorems on convergent sequences. The limit of a convergent sequence is unique. We do this proof by contradiction method. If the theorem says that the limit of the convergent sequence is unique, so we go for the contradiction method. If possible, let there be two limits. So limit of xn when n tends to infinity, let it be equal to L1, and limit of xn when n tends to infinity, let it be equal to L2. Let us assume that L1 is not equal to L2. If L1 is equal to L2, then our proof is complete. So we assume it is not equal to L2, and the difference between L1 and L2, absolute value means the difference between L1 and L2 is equal to K. Then we apply the definition of limit for L1 and the definition of limit for L2 to get the statements 1 and 2. So the definition says that there exists a M1 among the set of all natural numbers such that this inequality is true. The inequality means that absolute value of xn minus L1 is less than k by 2. The meaning is that the distance between xn and L is made very small. That means xn tends to L1. Xn becomes almost equal to L1. So xn is a member of the sequence. So xn becomes equal to L1. And where does this n come from? This n is a number which is greater than M1. So there are many members in the sequence, which is x1 to x infinity. So there is a M1. So we are talking about all those xn's where n is greater than M1. So when n becomes greater than M1, all those xn's become very close to L1. That is how L1 becomes a limit. Again, by the same explanation, when L2 becomes a limit, we can find the corresponding M2 among the set of all natural numbers such that the inequality xn minus L2 is made very less, almost equal to k by 2 for every n greater than M2. If at all, instead of L1, if L2 is a limit, for every n greater than M2, we can find the corresponding member xn, that is all those members in the sequence where n is greater than M2, they are very close to the limit L2. That is the meaning of this inequality. So we have inequality 1 and inequality 2. So now our job is to combine both inequalities. So here we have n greater than M2 and n greater than M1. We choose a maximum M, which is a maximum of M is a maximum of M1 and M2. Okay, now all our inequalities are based on M, not M1 and M2. So our both inequalities 1 and 2 will be true for M. So from 1 and 2, we have these two inequalities and we have taken n greater than M, where M is a maximum of M1 and M2. Then what we do is, we'll consider limit of L1 minus L, absolute value of L1 minus L2. We introduce minus xn and xn in this equation. So xn minus L2 minus xn minus L1. So this xn and minus xn can get cancelled. And you can see that this L1 is positive, minus L2 is negative. So when we simplify this, we get back L1 minus L2. We just have introduced xn and minus xn to the statement. Okay, then what we do is we break up this inequality. We break up this to an inequality. So absolute value of A minus B is less than or equal to absolute value of A plus absolute value of B. So what we have here, we take xn minus L2 as A and xn minus L1 as B. So A minus B is less than or equal to absolute value of A plus absolute value of B. So whatever we have is less than or equal to absolute value of xn minus L2 plus absolute value of xn minus L1. But we have from equation 1, the first one is less than k by 2 and the second one is less than k by 2. So when we add these two, it becomes equal to half of k plus half of k becomes 1 times k. So what we have here is absolute value of L1 minus L2, which means the difference between L1 and L2 is equal to k. And what is k? K is a positive number. But that is a contradiction. This is a contradiction because we took absolute value of L1 minus L2 as equal to k. But here we got it is less than k. Okay, these equations, when we see, we can see that this is less than k, which is a contradiction. So what our assumption was wrong. Hence, L1 is equal to L2, and it means that a convergent sequence has only one leg. Thank you.